Okay, so this is an experiment, but we're going to go through all breakout scans and see if we can find some good breakouts. I do this every weekend. There's about 200 breakouts, and then on the breakdown scan there's usually less, especially in a bull market. There's about 55 there, and then I might look at just like some weekly options and stuff like that too, to see what good setups are coming. I'm not looking for anything that's already broken out. I'm looking for things that might break out because I want to be there on the day of that happening. I'm not going to chase anything. So, for example, I'm looking for something that's made a really big move up through here and then has pulled back and is consolidating. So my scan is a lot like Christian Kalmagi's stuff. The highest gainers in the last month, 3 months, and 6 months, essentially. So take a look at that. You can pause that, whatever. It's the top 90% ranking. Anything over a certain ADR, which means that I can actually dump a lot of my account into it without having too much absolute risk. Ideally, I want to stay under 15% account size per position. Anything over $1, this is dollar volume, but you can change it to like average volume or whatever. But a lot of these big movers, they might have a big price, which means that a couple hundred K volume is not that big a deal. Whereas something else that might have a million, but it's only like $2. Yeah, I prefer dollar volume to it, so that I get the right type of liquidity. You can mess with that on your own. And anything over the 200 moving average just kind of pairs it down. Otherwise, the list has like 600 results in it. And over here, I can see whether or not it's over for the previous day. That's more for when I'm actually looking for stuff real time. Like I have this real time one here. But if I'm on the weekend just looking for potential setups, setting alerts, I'm really just looking for all of this right through here. So 200 results. I can see the earnings date. I can see the relative strength, relative volume, everything. That's not important when I'm setting alerts. I can see the sector that it's in as well, and then the ADR, which is very important. High ADR is good because it means lower risk absolute on your account. Up here, this is the market cap. This is the ADR in percent, and then I think this is the ADR in dollar value, I think. Yeah, that's the earnings date, and I have no idea what that is. Relative volume, maybe? I don't know. It's broken. A lot of my scans that I use by myself are not set up crisply. Like they have a lot of stuff messed up on them. Okay, so AAOI. I took the breakout here, but then I took a loss because I wasn't paying attention to this gap through there. I should have taken partials and then let it just stop out at break even before. But it looks like it might be setting up again. I'm looking for a big rip, then a pullback, then some higher lows, and then this point of breakout where you can see on the anchored volume weighted average price, it's the highest point from the previous. I want to see that tipping point where the sellers have to start capitulating and covering their positions, which will accelerate the breakout further. On terms of our relative volume, I'm always looking at this as well. This tells me where all the actual action is happening on the chart. Initially, it was there, and then we had this right through there, so that was the breakout I took, but that's broken now. Now that breakout was high volume, so now we have an even shallower algo line there. I'm looking for a day that breaks the anchored VWAP and the algo line kind of at the same time. So ideally, this thing kind of just chops around a little bit, maybe even pulls back again, creates another higher low, bounces off the 50-day moving average, although with a small market cap like that, I probably want to see it stay a little higher up, and then compresses a bit and then breaks out, I don't know, maybe more in November I'd prefer it to break out, ideally. But if I get the right setup through here and I have enough foothold underneath that D1, I'll take it again. Let me see. A lot of these are going to be like biotech stocks, Momo stocks, small caps. It's just the kind of thing that you're going to get. I don't see anything there. This is already marked up. That's all marked up. Let me get ahead a little bit here. MSC. I like this one a lot. Nice semiconductor stock, which are very strong lately. You see this monster move. This is 163% move. Even from this breakout here is a 30% move. So you see the pullback, bouncing, kind of chopping around on that 100-day moving average. You see the higher lows. Now I'm looking for a bit more of a compression here because this jump to here and then further follow through, that's a little bit too far of a push right through there. Because if I'm looking at that intraday, you see the 5-minute chart through here. If I'm looking at that intraday, I don't know what the hell this line is. I don't know. Go on the 15? Yeah, okay. So if I'm looking at this intraday, if I take a look at the previous day, this thing broke underneath and then just chop right up and through. It could easily pull back to there and retest there. And if you look at that on the D1, on that previous day, that's a pretty far launch back. So if I get the breakout on this day and I take it and then I have like a $1.84 stop or something, that's my risk, it still might pull back to there. I would prefer this thing pull back, hit this, bounce off that, compress a little bit here, then break out. That would be ideal. No. It's okay. A lot of these are already marked up. Let me see if I can get ahead here. APLT. Maybe. I don't know. This kind of janky there. A lot of these are going to be stocks that are really far down and then coming back up. That's fine, as long as you see that it's actually coming back up. APLD I like a lot. So you can see how it's breaking through this major trend line. You can see this like very long-term support. You can see this really nice move through here. This is the day that I took 7 calls. So on this day I took this breakout, or maybe here, I can't remember. I took the 7 calls that were actually a little bit out of the money for the week, because I figured, hey, if it goes, I'm going to make like a big percent on it, even if it goes for 1 or 2 days. And if it doesn't, whatever, I'm sized for a full loss. Now it's actually pulling back, consolidating. Beautiful flag on this thing. You can see it's almost even staying above through there. So what I'm looking for on this type of breakout, because this isn't the same type of breakout as like a pullback and then up and through. This is more of a compression break. I really need to make sure that all of these previous days, especially the ones that have above average volume down there, have been footholded. So for this, if I see it break out through there, I might not take it. But if I see it find some support above this level through here, that's when I'll really like to take it, especially if the market's lining up, especially if I see some relative strength and volume kicking in on this thing too. The good thing about this is that I can probably take like 9 calls out of the money and repeat what I did over there. And I can make a clean 1 to 200% on that. APLT is okay, but like I said, that there, I don't like that. You see that? I don't know. No. Way too many H- algos could be on that one. ASPN. I did like ASPN before, and I believe I took it off some sort of catalyst maybe? Yeah, I took it there somehow and I got lucky. But now, the issue with this is this very choppy in through here. Like, that's kind of messy. You're really looking for a clean up, then down, then chop, 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 chop up. You're not looking for this big wild volatility all over the place here. We've got the 200, maybe the 100, and it's still underneath here, so I'm not going to take that. ASTS is looking beautiful. Look at this move, right? So we have this yucky downtrend all the way through. Typically you get like three entries before it starts not giving you much more, starts getting tired. This is still the first one. We're still setting up for the second entry. So on this one here, the only issue with it though is that there's an algo line there, but there's one there too, because if you look over here, you can see the more shallow algo lines are the ones that you got to be careful of. I don't look at anything that's upsloping for a long. I don't think it matters. It might, but remember, your breakout's going to be extremely strong. If you actually got the breakout, it's going to pound through that no problem. So I want to see it break here, and then if this is far enough away, I might take it anyways, and then I can always just move my stop break even there, or like take partials or something, see what happens there. But I don't want this just to crank up through here like this. Once again, I want to see higher lows. So I would rather see this maybe pull to here, pull back, compress a bit, then launch off, because this is from way too far deep. Once again, remember the foothold thing. That's how you confirm the breakouts. Whereas KQ, I don't think he does that, which means that his win rate is like 25-30%. He's basically got to hammer everything he sees and then just trail anything and like kind of cross his fingers in hopes that he gets some good runners. My mindset can't handle that. I'd rather have a really high win rate, even if it means smaller winners, because even on these, a small win is like 100%, which is great. ATGL, I took this at the end of the bell. It's this is shady. The only thing that might ruin this is if they offer shares, because often stocks like this will do that. They'll do a share offering like before the bell, like tomorrow, like a Monday morning, or they'll do it like overnight, and then the stock will tank. But this thing has just wild risk reward. Crazy rip. Really small market cap, which means that you don't want to wait for this thing to pull all the way back and back up. When this market cap is small, the smaller the market cap, the more shallow the pullback that you want, and the more that you're looking at the lower time frame for the same phenomena. You can see on the 5-minute chart here, this kind of looks like what a D1 chart of a breakout would look like on something that had maybe 10 times or even 20 times the market cap or 100 times the market cap at that. So I took it right through there. My stop is here, maybe. $2 stop on it. The upside is disgusting. Like, if it pulls up to here, like, geez, this thing could move, I don't know, that could be like a 5 times winner. And you know what? This is kind of a dangerous ticker. So let's say I do get dunked on, and then we just get dunked on all the way down to there. Well, then I just take maybe like a 2R loss instead of 1 risk loss. The absolute risk on this thing is like, let me see, $2 is my regular stop. I don't know, like 3R. I can eat that. One good winner can eat that, so I'll take it. ATUS, nothing here. I don't see anything. This thing could continue downwards. Even if you see this thing come up through here, you really need to see a higher low on these types of like crazy down stocks, because otherwise it's just like little short covering bounces. AUR, I really like this one. Even though there's this big long-term algo line through here, you don't know if that's going to be the one, because really it's only 2 touch points. It could be. You've got this horizontal line through here as well. So this is fairly significant resistance. It's a very strong stock. And we only got the first initial breakout. Like, I wouldn't count that one. That could still be in a range. So now you have this first run. Feasibly, this could do 2, 3 again. You can see it bouncing off the 20. You'll see the 20 moving average, very common for bounce off these, but it's got a big market cap. So this thing's more of a Momo stock. So on this one, you really need to see it get above the halfway point of this big candle right through here, the volume. We don't really have an algo line on this thing yet. Like, we do, I guess. It's like down here or some shit, but you know, ideally I want to see this come up through here, fail, once again compress a little bit, and then go. So once again the foothold is good. This is the highest point of the previous anchor volume weighted average price, which means that over here the average person who bought on this trend is definitely in profits, and the average person who sold on the way down is no longer in profits. So that's what I want to see. This could be good, right? Could be good, because even though we have this big resistance up here, that might be 100% profit to there by the time we get there, which once again, that's fine. I'll take partials, but if the market's super strong and it's looking really good, and maybe it had some good footholds all the way up, it doesn't tiptoe up to there, maybe I'll just put my stop break even and just, like, you know, either I make nothing, no loss, and go even further, or either. It's fine. AVXL. Kind of shit. I mean, I did do it because there could be some room through there, but there's better stocks out there. BCBA, BFly. Nice. I like it, but I missed it. So, nice base through here. Break through this trend line. There might be one like there. I don't know. That's far enough up. Sometimes you'll see when they're coming up, they hit these like pivot points as resistance. Like this might be the next pivot point. We'll see. But you see this awesome move? The pullback? 400 million is small cap. That's very small cap, actually. So anything under 500 typically. And you see this nice little higher low here because we're looking on a small time frame because the small market cap. That was the breakout day. But unfortunately, that was the day right when the market was not really supporting taking any sort of long because we're right before the Friday econ. But let's say the market was different. Then you see this on the 5. Right through here where we, this day, yeah, in this day. Okay, so we get the breakthrough and then chop around a bit and then continue higher. I guess technically I could have taken it at this opening range high through here on this, but I would still have to use the breakout day as a stop, and that's 18 cents, which is exactly at ATR. You don't really want to take anything more than ATR in this. And if you miss them, no big deal. These things set up, there's always like, geez, there's always like 5 alerts a day. Like, you're going to get 1 entry almost every single day when the market's good. Sometimes you get like 3 or 4. That's okay. BFly is good. BHVN. Sometimes I'll write, KQ does this. I don't know if it matters. Like, who cares what the catalyst is? The price action tells you if it's good. Nah, nothing there. Nothing there. Too choppy. Sideways range. And even if I wanted to take that as a breakout, it'd have to be on the weekly frame because you can see that. But then where do I put my stop? You know, I'm not going to hold shit on the weekly frame. Like, I can't predict the market that far out. BTBT, no. I like this, but it's not ready yet. Market cap's a little high for you to take a continuation up from there. It'd have to be really exceptional. You'd have to see some amazing relative volume on that day. But the overall volume is like too low to trade it like that. That'd be more like a wiki trade. So I'm not touching that. Now, if this thing went up and fell back, bounced off the 50, gave me a setup through there, take it off there, sure, I'll take that. This thing's still going. I took this one. I didn't post it because I don't know if it follows the guidelines. The average volume is like 400K, so no. But these ones who are smaller market caps, especially because it's in the aerospace defense, is a very strong sector right now. But nice rip, pull back, break. Oftentimes when you see this gap and go on these smaller cap stocks, you see a gap and it just a rip. Sometimes you'll see it open up down there, which means that you don't really want to take shares on that type of setup. So I took options on this one instead, and I sized it for a full loss. This one's still going, but holy shit. You had an entry on this one if you wanted to. Market cap is very small, and this thing's crazy momentum. So what you had to do is you had to try and find like a good looking, what would be a good looking D1 setup, but on like a smaller time frame. So maybe in the 1 hour. Nah, it tiptoed up through there and just powered through. There wasn't really no entry. You had to chase it. Too evasive. A lot of these stocks will get away on you and just not offer you a good entry. Just leave them. They're too volatile. They're too evasive. They're not worth it. CADX. Nah. Right? Like, because I don't know if this is a contracting range or not, and it could break out either way. And the breakout could fake out easily. CDMO. No. CDNA. Let me see here. Obviously. No, too choppy. I think it just jacked itself up. Maybe if we get a long compression here and then I get this breakthrough here, maybe. I don't think so. What the hell? Not touching that. CFI. Nope, nothing there. Some of these two are like, wow, look at that great move. But look at how messy and volatile it was. Do you really want to sit on this thing? Let's say you get a good entry on a chart like this. Do you really want to sit while, you know, you wake up and it's gapped down and it gapped up and whatever? Like, I don't want to take years off my life. I'm already losing enough hair on my head. CLMT, this was a great setup. I didn't take it, but I should have. Really nice rip through here. Big pullback. I took it through there and it got stopped out, and the reason why is because this is just not, it's too extended. You can't take something off of there. But you can see that this is the highest anchored VWAP, and you can see how I have a lot of marks up through here. I'm foot holding this thing, looking to see how this breakout works. When I initially took that, the trend line was through there, but then this created, if we look at on here, created a more shallow algo, which you probably want to see when it's 1.5 billion market cap. You don't want to chase it on that first breakout. It usually will do a fake out. But then this right through here, when energy stocks were just, from the geopolitics, were just ripping, I was thinking, you know what, I should just take strangles instead on the energy stocks because they're so news heavy. But then the options flow on that sector implied some seriousness to it. But on this one, CLMT, you can see it broke through here, opening range through there, and then your entry would be there, and then your stop would be like there, $1, and you're already up $1.86. So that's a 186% profit, and that's just on the second day. On this one, I would probably I would just sit on it again. It might rip up to there, and then I would just take full profits on that probably. But if it went sideways a little bit, I would probably just move my stop to break even, and then if it started getting a little weaker, I would take full profits. I might take a partial, I don't know. KQ always takes partials, but I've found that because these entries are a lot more accurate with the TA and the footholds, I can really ride the whole thing at least 2R, 1 to 5R, something like that. And the win rate is well over 75%, so I don't care about losing as much. This thing just got away in you. There's no entry here. Look, just a straight line all the way up. You can't chase something like that. It could have easily wicked out on you, but you see how beautiful this setup is. Pull back, higher low, and then bam, just got away on you. Couldn't chase it. I kind of like what's happening here, but within the context of the rest of the chart, it's a no-go. Let me see. Yeah, maybe? I don't know. Not with that cap. Well, I don't think I can catch this one. It's just too wild. Calm. Interesting. Ideally, it doesn't go right away. Compresses a little more. I want to see it a little tighter to it. I like it, but it's kind of tired. Like, look how far it went. You got this first rip. There's 1, 2, 3. When you're asking for a fourth, you're starting to, get a little late in the day. Comp's nice. Sideways compression. Look at this. Big pullback, big base, sideways compression, coming back up top. You get a nice move up. I would count this as the first move. 1, 2. We can get one more. This is a really nice flag as well. And then you can see here, oftentimes, if you look on the 5-minute chart, it's just the breakout of the last pivot high. Like whenever that breaks right through there, take something off there. As long as it just doesn't go straight to it, I'd like to see it pop, chop around in there and come back up. If I put some anchored VWAPs down here, you can see how it just went straight through. Well, actually no, you get a little bounce off there, so that's pretty good. Here's another thing about anchored VWAPs. If you are under the 8 EMA, I don't think it matters if you flip above the 8 EMA. I don't think you need to worry about the VWAPs or the footholds from below there. There's some sort of magic about breaking through the 8 EMA on the flip side where it doesn't really matter. CRDO. There we go. That's a nice breakout. 1, higher lows, pull back. Let me see here. Why didn't I take this? Maybe through here. Sometimes these high volume D1 candles can cause a little bit of support. I think maybe the D1, I was looking at the D1 and I thought, not quite. It's a little too wild. You can see that, right? So this thing isn't a big channel. Maybe it goes all the way up to the top. Maybe it just stops there. I'm not sure. I was just apprehensive. There was a lot of setups yesterday. But this one is that failed breakout. And also the anchor VWAP is just too low on it. That's why. Okay, yeah. Because I'm looking at the highest point here, and it's right here. So you have a break of the algo line up here, and you have the anchored VWAP down there, which means that they're not kind of working together. You could have a bear bull balance up and through here, but you also could have one down through there. And then that means you got to take this breakout, and it didn't stick. Means you got to take it right through there, and then you only have like that much room, and it's closing in on you. And then you got to take a pullback all the way back to there. Like, it's just, your risk reward doesn't work good. You can't put your stops right. The ATR is not right. Let me pause. Okay. CRMD. Let me see here. It's already going still. The breakout was here. Right there. And this thing was a little evasive because the original breakout was here, and you can see I already have it marked up. The problem with CRMD is it broke out, and then SPY just shit the bed. So I wasn't sure if this thing was going to continue through. I took profits kind of up in there with like 2R, 200% something. But then SPY shit the bed. So I think down in through here's in the middle of a bad market. You can't take these breakouts when the market is not bullish. CRVS. I don't see anything here. Like, it's a really nice move here, but there could be there's too much resistance in the way. I like this one. CLSR. Let me see what's the all-time high one. No, that's no problem. You might get something from here. Click that on. 115 million market cap. That's not a big market cap. You have just one bounce. If this thing rips through here, I can't take it. Oh shit, maybe I can. Let me see here. How are we off of this one? Straight line. I'd have to see what's going on with this. That is good there. Maybe. Let me see here. Is there a shallow algo? Gosh, this thing is all algo. Probably that one. Yeah. Okay. I'll set an alert there. We'll reassess. We'll see what it's behaving like. CYH. 1, 2. I guess. What am I looking at through this, though? Kind of tight. Is there an even bigger one? Yeah, shit. On the weekly. KQ's really loose with his lines, but I'm very precise. I like to know to the penny exactly what's going on. I can't. Some people have the gambler's mindset, which is good for trading. I don't. I have a terrible mindset, so I just need like crazy laser accuracy on everything I touch. Is that line up there? No. I don't think there is an algo from here. Hard to tell. That's the only thing tricky about that. Well, there's plenty of room though. And we got this. That could potentially be one. Anything that's like a little higher, that could definitely be one. Not a significant amount of volume rejecting though. This would be more significant. Like you could put it to there, and you can see how it kind of, it's already doing that, right? But if I put it there, it doesn't leave me a whole lot of room to play with on the daily. It's a nice engulf though. This pattern, you get the engulf through the top here. No, I don't need one there. What's the highest AV web? There. What's the last one? That's probably where you need to break to, because this is a big volume candle. Okay, you really need to see it get above here. I'll just line that up. Okay. Nothing there. Needs more of a base for a stock like that. This is a Chinese stock. Who knows where those are going to go? You could definitely have chased in the last 2 weeks, but now it's getting a little sketchy. There's probably more upside on them, but I don't know about that. That China catalyst was the strongest catalyst that you can possibly take in the market. When you see them doing like that they're turning the money printer on, basically, you should just like YOLO in lottos into these Chinese tickers. I took a couple strangles, which paid really, really well, but I should have sat on them way longer. Dave is interesting. That's nice. That's a huge move. It would take a long consolidation. It's a small cap, though. I don't know if you can get this on a D1 basis. I think this is more of a weekly setup. Yeah, that looks way better. If that was the D1, I would definitely be into that. But you can't really do these on a weekly basis because, like, how many weeks can you expect the SPY to be bullish for? Like, the market is not necessarily bullish for enough weeks for you to fall through in a trade like that. And I think there's something magical about D1 highs and lows and D1 levels that doesn't seem to apply to any other time frame. DDL. Sometimes I'll put, like, you see like a really crazy volume like that, there's definitely an anchored VWAP through there, especially on these Momo stocks, and they'll always get stuck there. DDL is not ready yet. I wouldn't take a compression breakout of that, but I would take a rejection off the AVWAP down to here, and then a breakout through there. I would definitely take that. Usually they'll go through to the next one, which is up here. I would take that, but you know what? By the time it does that, it's going to be another week, and I'll have plenty of time to check that out. DHC, no. Dogs. Kind of had a breakout here, but it was too close to, yeah, it just wasn't lining up. The AVWAP and the algo wasn't lining up. And now it's got that there. Can't catch that one. Can't catch them all. I like that, but I don't like this volatility. That's a little suspicious. And you can see I already have this sucker marked up. EBS, no. EH. Like, obviously that's a great breakout, but this chart is just garbage. It's trash. This is just an aerospace defense stock, and I think it's also a Chinese stock too. Yeah, it is. So it's got like a double catalyst on it, but there's nothing really inherently with it. That's good. No good. ELMD. Oh. I like that, but it's not setting up. Very, very small cap. The setup was this breakout, but you can see if you took it on that day, you would have got wicked out. Right? Like it blasted through. I would have taken it there for sure if intraday it's set up. Right? Here, let's take a look at it on the 5. That's the actual level. So you got that. Oh, yuck. No. Because is there a foothold? It's just a straight through right to there. You can't take it there. You have to wait for this to be retested. Pop, pop. Then you go, oh, okay, I'm taking it here. And then look at that on the D1. That's your stop? $1? No. It's got to be $1.80. You'd have to have $1.80 worth of risk exposed. Maybe it's got options or something, but the principle's the same. And it's only got $1 of ATR. That's too wide. Yeah, you gotta. It'll have to be left way too much wiggle room for you to take that. EVX. This is interesting. They had positive catalyst news here, so I don't know if that'll stick. That's a nice rally. You can see my charts are always gobbledygook, but that's a nice rally. But let me see here. It's too extended. I would not take a breakup from there. If you saw the positive news, you would basically have to take it there and then like put a stop there or something, or like, yeah, maybe that trend line. You'd have to basically be in it right away. But potentially this could be good, but I would need a rejection here and then a pullback, which would give me kind of a more shallow algo that I could trade off of. I'd need like and then a breakout. I would take that. It's not going to happen until November, December, which, okay, I'll keep that in mind. ULS. Nah, nothing. USE. Yeah, obviously. I mean, I got the levels marked up, but I think this one, yeah, it triggered when the market sucked, so no good. That's the first rip, pull back, entry here. But then you can see when the market was choppy, what a mess, right? So you just don't take them when the market's messy. Right, if we look at SPY here. Yeah, right? Like you take it there and then you got to ride it through this crap. No. That's what messed it up. ETON. That's a very strong rip. Where is it though? Oh. Okay, it's up there. I bet you'll see that as support. Anchored volume weighted average price is a real thing. You just need to know how to use it correctly. See? It's real. IPO AVWAPs are good. Those work. Unless the IPO is like 1982. What am I looking at here? Where's the structure? Like I want to make something out of this, but I don't know if I can. You're looking tight through there. Maybe, I mean, got that. That's the next pivot high. And then you could probably take it to something like that. 833. It's already going though. The setup was here. And that was just not a bullish market at the time. It's choppy shit. But I mean, you could have taken it, maybe. It's a low enough market cap to take off a pullback like that. It's not ready now. This is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's tired now. Probably going to have to go all the way down there and set up. Missed it. Nothing there. EVGO. I don't know. He sometimes takes these crazy news candles. Like he would take it like there, a 5-minute range open. You take it there, and then your stop's under there, and you're like, yay! I made 8-1, and my win rate is 4%. Okay. EVLV. Nothing. EWTX. I like this one, but I didn't take it, and I think there's just too many other good setups yesterday that I didn't take this one because EWTX, I would count that as a rally. So it's a nice breakout of compression. Probably some good news. It's biotech. It has options though. If I have the option of using options on biotech, I like that. It's just safer. Breakout through the top there. there's only this level up through here, and it's got a big market cap. Bigger market caps sometimes need bigger support. So I think that's why I didn't take it, because of that, because there's other good setups. But by all means, it's okay. Like, it could go, especially because you're in like here. You can see the day of, and this is a perfect example. This is the anchor VWAP from the previous day. It broke through it without retesting it, and now you are $1.27 away, like almost close to an ATR away from the previous foothold on the AVWAP. So it's got to go back and get it and come back up. This is the range high that you want it to revisit with enough foothold to go. Sometimes, like if it's there, or like you're in a compression, it's a compression break and the market gets really bullish and there's lots of great relative volume and everything, sometimes it'll skip an anchored VWAP, and by the time it goes back to check it, it gets dragged way further up, so it doesn't matter. But most of the time you do need to have most, if not all, of the previous anchored VWAPs retested. Now it's kind of confirming there, which is good. But now what's your stop on this thing? 1.97. The ATR is $2. That's close. That's tight. That's why I didn't take it, probably. This was a good one. I took this breakout through here. Nice rip. Kind of an aggressive pullback. I took it here because it had a little bit of an extra boost. It was a really nice breakout of a compression. Not the best D1 to take it out of. And then secondly, there was a lot of bullishness on metals, especially with the China stimulus. But, is this a Thursday? Yeah, but Friday was expiry on futures, certain futures metals or futures options. I don't know. My old man told me about it. He's obsessed with metals. He says there's always some wonky shit that goes on during expiry, so I took profit here. But I technically could have held it, because that's 300%, but I took profit at 200%. My entry was like right here, right away. Because you see this compression break. It's over the highest anchored VWAP. It's over the most shallow algo line. If we go back to that day, right through there, that's the day. We go back through here. We bounce. Yeah, so we get the breakout. Right, we're breaking out of the algo line, which is right there. We get the breakout. If it's a shit breakout, it should pull all the way back down through. But it didn't. It just held and held and held. And I believe it was showing like really good relative strength. The market was good. China had that stimulus there too. And I believe I took it around here. My entry was, I think I caught it right through there, maybe off like a 3 EMA. Oftentimes when you pull past the 3 EMA, even if it's ripping, it'll go boop, touch the 3 EMA and go on any time frame. So I think I managed to tag it right through there. Really nice entry. Stop down there, 24-cent stop, which is just at ATR. But here it was lower, but I knew it didn't matter because that was a compression. And then rode it. Really nice. And then you could see that it was starting to get like a little shady through here. Where did I take it? Kind of around here, actually. Maybe here or here. Yeah. And then I said, oh no, it's going more. But then the next day, pulled back. I guess I could have re-entered right through here again on the D1 and still be in it. But I'm not a robot. I can't do everything all at the same time. Good one though. Okay, figs. Nope. What's happening here? Could be a compression break. It's kind of interesting. Unfortunately, if this breaks compression, there's a little bit, yeah, there's like an ATR difference between those two. That's too far away. No thanks. Well, I'll just put an alert on this. Maybe it triggers like a month from now and everything's all lined up better. But then I gotta go and vet. I don't want to look at that shit. Sometimes I'll just say vet the algos. That way I know if it triggers and I gotta check it, then I gotta go back into this view and just like look at every single freaking pixel. Okay. This was the other silver one I was considering taking. This one is a top 25% revenue grower, which is good. And I think I didn't take it because the TA just wasn't quite as good as EKG. Or EXK, GCI. Nothing there. What the hell is that? That's too shitty. Maybe. No. Look. Looks great on the weekly. Can't trade it on the weekly. Don't try to do that. Jimmy. You need it to start breaking out above here to look at it. But I bet it would just... You'd be able to get a pretty big... Yeah, 48% move. Yeah. Don't take it down here. Only take it above here. That's the highest anchored VWAP you can take. Is there any high one? Maybe. Yeah. Just don't play with this one. GSIT. I like that up there. That was good, but way too big of a pullback. You can see too its lower highs all the way down. Higher lows as well, but I don't know. Whatever's happening on that, way too long a time frame. HCAT, no. HIMS. I kind of like this one. I like that move. That shows it has potential to really rip, and it's fairly clean. 1, 2. Really nice rest. So it kind of resets that clock. If it went 3 up there, I wouldn't be chasing it. But this is enough rest. Big market cap. They can pull back a lot. Bounce off the 200. Rejection from the 100. Bounce off the 50. It's got to F around a lot more in here. Yeah. So we'll just set that. If it breaks that by the time, I don't know, next year, December, Christmas. This would be a good Christmas gift. I would love to take it like around this time, like around mid-November. That'd be good. I don't want to take it mid-October. That'd be way too extended. Nope. Nope. That's a fun stock. HNRG. I like that move. It's a pretty good move. Still going. Small cap. So I can take it off the 10. There's no way to set an alert on that. I'm not going to watch that. There's like 15 other ones. I don't want to gob up my watch list with ones like that. HRO strong. Actually took it here with options. I think I took it with a strangle, to be honest. And the reason why I took it with a strangle is because the market was shit. So I thought, you know what? If the debit works, you can do a 40 strangle or something like that. Maybe it had like 42 calls, 42 straddle. And I thought, you know what? It's either going to go up to here or it's going to pull back to there. And I think it cost like $3. So I did make money on that. I took it right. I took money right there though. I took profit up there instead of up there because of this, the high of this candle. Sometimes you can strangle these breakouts and breakdowns, but only if the TA to price works. Sometimes they are too expensive and not worth it. You need to make sure it's going to move fast enough before the IV decays on the strangle or straddle. And I don't take them with the wide strikes. I take the tightest strikes I can, either straddle or like the closest strangle strikes. That way you're in the money as soon as possible. HRTG. Yuck, what the hell happened there? I don't care about that. Okay, that's about 80 stocks I went through with it. That's basically what I do. So that's how you find breakouts. All right, hopefully that's helpful.